Welcome to 3 Excel Power Tips for Formatting Excel. I'm TrainerLori. This quick session covers custom views, number formatting, and conditional formatting.
Custom views. For example, in this list you can see that it has different countries: France, Germany, Mexico, Spain, Sweden, USA. But in the bottom list, I just want USA because there's times when I just want to look at that area. So it's a good idea to use something like a filter, but I still want to make it a little bit quicker. So not only do I filter, I use custom views. You'll find this under View, Custom Views. And the first thing you want to do is create a normal view, one that doesn't have any kind of filtering or formatting or hiding in it first. And then once you have your normal view, then you can show just the parts of it that you want to show, in this case, USA only. Because you're going to be using this a lot, I would recommend that you add it to your quick access toolbar so that it's just 1 or 2 clicks instead of having to dig around trying to find it under View. Formatting. There's so many things that could be said about formatting. We're going to show you some of the more powerful tips today. You know, it's right on your Home tab. You have the option for the drop down to change any cell into any of these types of formatting. But there's also more number formats at the bottom. You can also click the dialog box launcher in the corner of each of the command areas, the groups, or Control 1, which is one of my favorite keyboard shortcuts because that's the one I use a lot. And that will open up the Format Cells dialog box. Notice there are 6 tabs, and we're going to be looking at the Number tab, although all of them are very powerful. Later we'll be looking at the Protection tab. This is custom formatting. With custom, a lot of people look at that code and then just look away because it looks so complex. But let's look at it and learn how to use it. At the bottom is where the pre-made formatting is. Those show the placeholders for specific kinds of numbers and symbols. In the middle, under Type, you can change or edit the code that's built in. And at the top, under Sample, it'll show you what the numbers will look like in the worksheet when you use the formatting. The first thing you need to know with custom formatting is the number placeholders, 0 and hashtag, and the difference between a significant 0 and an insignificant 0. That means, do you want the 0 to always show, or only show if it's needed? For example, when it's a decimal, you don't really need the 0 after 3. It doesn't add any information. So that's considered an insignificant 0. It's the same for a 0 that's before the decimal. With the code, you choose the number placeholder based on if you want to show or not show insignificant zeros. To show them, use the 0 in your code. To not show them, use a hashtag. In the first code, we have 0.00 to always show 3 numbers, including the 0 before the dot and after the 3. In the second one, we have 0.0 hashtag, which means show the 0 before the dot, but don't show the 0 after the 3. To show them, use a 0 in your code. To not show them, use a hashtag. Now you can see that all these hashtags mean they're going to show numbers but not zeros if they are insignificant. However, it will show the zeros when a 0 is used in the format code. In code, adding a % or a dash will always show those, and anything that's in quotation marks will show. So because of the last code, my area code in parentheses will always show before a phone number. All I have to enter is 7 numbers, and it will always show the area code in parentheses with the dash, and all I have to type in is 7 simple numbers. The custom code does the rest. This is one a lot of people ask me about, are date codes. You probably know M, D, Y, 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 Y. These are simple ones that you've probably seen before, and you can see it shows 1 month, 1 day, and 4 characters for the year. In this case, it only shows 2 for the month, the day, and the year, and that means even August is going to have that leading 0. So that's how it's going to show with 2 characters. 3 M's is going to be an abbreviation with the last 2 for the year. Now 4 M's is a little different. 4 you may not know, but 4 will actually spell out the word. And if you have a word like May, it will spell that out as well. And then 5 M's will show only the first letter. Big numbers. Sometimes you don't want all those zeros because it can be very confusing. So I want to show some kind of an abbreviation for big numbers. So the custom format 00, comma is going to show only the first two numbers and not the last 3 zeros. Why 3 zeros? Because the comma is a thousand separator. So it's going to say don't show the thousands. In the second option, it has the same thing, but now I want it to be followed by the letter K. Remember, it's in quotation marks, so it's going to show. So in this case, it's going to show 12K, which might make it a little easier to understand. In the third option, it's the thousand separators, but now I've got 2 of them in there, so that means it also has the million separators. So this is going to show 12 as millions, but that could be confusing. I may not know that that's million, so it might be a good idea to put the M in there. And so now we have the 2 zeros, the 2 commas, with the M to show 12 million. Sometimes you want to hide the numbers. For example, maybe some results that are going to be shared, but without having to go delete it and having 2 versions, you simply want to hide the numbers. And so to do that, the custom format is 2 semicolons. However, beware that if you hide it in the cell, it may still show on the formula bar. So if that's the case, you'll definitely want to hide the formula bar or not show it. Conditional formatting is a great way to format your data without doing much. You don't have to do anything except figure out what would be the condition for the data to look different. For example, let's look at some. Contains food. This is going to go through the entire column and look for any name of a market here that has the word food in it. In this case, contains duplicates. This is one of the ones we use the most because we always find duplicates and I just want to see them before I do anything else to it. Later I'm going to show you how to easily delete duplicates. In this case, I just want to find the top 10%. In that case, there's 2 of them for the top 10% of the column. And in this case, it's today's date. Anything that has today's date in it. Data bars is my favorite of all the conditional formatting because it shows the gradient, the number in a gradient, so that you can see how much or how little in comparison to everything else on the column is. Instead of just having a lot of color, it looks like a chart built into the cell. Then there's virtually unlimited options, so make sure that you take time to explore conditional formatting and especially look at those flyouts so that you can see what rules would apply for those conditions.